Cue the confetti once again. I'm breaking every rule. All right, no, I do, but my jeans are, and these actually are from my closet, my actual closet. We have what's called our host closet, and what we do is we actually show you things that we wear on the air, and you can buy them, which has been really fun because you guys ask a lot, and now we've made it capable. These actually came from my closet, and I just had them on the other day because I bought mine a couple months ago. These are the famous virtual stretch Diane Gilman straight leg jeggings, jeans. You slip them on. Couldn't be easier to wear. They're so comfortable. They're that virtual stretch, which is the #1 most popular fabric on all fashion brands here at HSN. Are you taking my picture?
Video.
Oh, video. Oh, even better. Anyway, they're available, and you can check out all of our great items in the host closet if you go to hsn.com and type it in the search bar. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We're moving on. We got a lot to tell you about. And this is I own this. I own this exact EcoFlow. Actually, my husband and I, we have 2 EcoFlows. I have a much bigger unit up north in our little place up there because my husband wanted to work off grid for a very long period. And then because I didn't have that unit here and we live in a hurricane area, this is the exact model that I have now down here. Do you know this little guy? Under 20 pounds, it's actually a little over 17 pounds, will power 80% of the things you have in your house. How remarkable for this very lightweight unit. Now we have 2 options in the show. It's called EcoFlow. And EcoFlow, in a very short amount of time, has become the #1 most popular power units in the country. So brilliant design, upgrades galore. You can choose just the unit itself, or you can choose to get the unit with the solar panel. This is now the lowest price we have ever done on the River, and this is the most powerful of the River series we're offering tonight. If you guys don't have it, I think this is a must-have. We hope you use it for all the fun stuff like the tailgates and the reunion and music and whatever fun you want to do to have power wherever you are. But boy, when it's scary and there's an emergency, and we've gone through several down here, and many people are about to go through a lot of cold weather, a lot of snow, you never want to be without power, and that EcoFlow is absolutely the way to do it. We'll give you all the details in just a bit. But I really am excited about this first item too, and I'll tell you why. It was a really freaky experience that happened. On Friday night, I was downtown in downtown St. Pete, and downtown St. Pete is a relatively large area. Big, tall skyscrapers, restaurants galore, and on a Friday night, it's very busy down there. And I was down there at an event. All of a sudden, every single light went out in the hotel I was at. And we're like, oh, that just must be a hotel thing. No, it was 22,000 people Friday night were without power instantly here in downtown St. Petersburg. And imagine that on a busy Friday night in a very popular town. I sat there in the dark, and I was with a bunch of friends, and we all turned our phones on because it has a flashlight on the phone. And we looked around, we're like, what in the world is going on? It was a perfect night. No storms, no hurricanes, no snow, ice, rain, nothing. It was a perfect night, not even wind. And to this day, the electric company that services us has not told us what took out the power in 22,000 homes. And do you know the first thing I thought of was, oh my goodness, how long are we gonna be without power, and what am I gonna do? Now for me, I was going, hey, the third thought I had was, hey, if this is long distance, I don't care, I got my EcoFlow. So I'm good. But I was with a ton of other people who weren't prepared. This is the other thing I really thought about, is when you lose power and you lose contact, how do you hear what's going on? Especially maybe if, I don't know, the entire grid goes down. How crazy would that be? You've got to have a radio. You've got to have a good old-fashioned radio. And this is how you're going to do it, plus so much more. And this, whether you have solar, you want to crank and power it, or you want to plug it in, is, I think, one of the must-haves you should have in your preparedness system. Well, joining me is, and I love him, Justin. He's here, Justin Hyatt. He's going to talk about this and EcoFlow.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. And this is really cool to have both of these in the same show.
Yes.
Because now we're covered.
Well, and it's funny because, you know, as you have your personal story, this whole entire hour is what I fell back on. And it was the things that we have our EcoFlow, but then of course, even just having this emergency kit, this is exactly what I used when we had our hurricane. So I had my EcoFlows powered up. I also had all my flashlights powered up. When you were talking about line of communication, we fall back on the things that work. It doesn't have to be all the brand new technology that's out there in the world. It's the things that work, and it is your AM, and it is your FM radio. When I had no power, and not only did I lose my internet, I also didn't have any cell service. The only form of communication that I had was right here from my Aspen flashlight. Yeah, it is a flashlight, but it is so much more. We have our AM, FM radio. Here's my tuner right here. We have our weather band radio. So this is where I was able to listen minute to minute to hear all those updates. You know, when we lost power, I lost power and internet and cell service all at the same time. Well, that 1 hour, we didn't know if the hurricane was going to shift 30 miles north, 30 miles south, had no idea where the eye was going to go, except because I had my weather band radio, I was able to hear everything that was going on. Also, the next day, I was able to have my AM and FM radio out because when I was cleaning everything up, what was I using? I was using my AM and FM to hear what was happening in my local area. I didn't know that the Tropicana whole entire roof was ripped off, except I did because I had my AM and FM. This was also the flashlight that I went to as soon as I lost power. You have 2 flashlights built in right here. Sorry, I just blinded you guys. 1 flashlight right here on the top, and then here's the other cool thing. Hit that button one more time.
Oh, wow.
And then you also have that.
Sucker's bright. Sorry.
And I know you're a big crafter.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, do not look into the light on this one.
It is so bright.
And
That's fantastic.
you're a crafter.
Yeah.
You need a great crafting light if you're a crafter.
But look how clever this is too.
Yeah.
If I'm going to use it for crafting, or if I'm in, let's say you've got to fix something like in a utility box or something.
Exactly.
You're in your fuse box. Look at that. I mean, it's super, super bright, and you can set it down and you can work under it. Let me do colors real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thanks, if you don't mind. I'll just do colors. We have turquoise blue, what is this, magenta, we have orange, and we have green. So those are the color options that we have tonight. I just think when that situation happened on Friday, and we were all sitting here in the dark, it was for about 45 minutes it was out. But we had no idea at that point, and then you don't know what happened. And to this day, everybody's online saying, hey, blank energy, tell us what occurred. And when they don't tell you what occurred, then you're like, well, if that happened, can it happen again?
Right.
And then your brain goes into this downward spiral because you're like, am I ready? Do I have the stuff I need? And so if this is fun and every day, that's great.
Yep.
But in an emergency, when you can get that radio and the weather radio, I watched the thing and they said, I hadn't thought about it. And I thought, oh my God, what if my phone doesn't work and the internet doesn't work and all that doesn't work?
Yeah.
How am I gonna know what to do or what's happening? And at least you would have this to listen to the weather and to listen to your local radio station.
You know, it's one of those things, it was like a practice what we preach. I've been presenting
Great point.
You know, it very much is, because I've been presenting the Aspen flashlight now, the 8-in-1, for almost a couple years now. And, you know, we talk about it all the time, but it's when you experience it and when you really feel like, okay, it does everything it said it would. And I experienced it in real life. And it was one of those things where when I had that AM and FM radio, I had that open line of communication, I had the entertainment, but so much more. So when I even think about the other part of it, if you're thinking about traveling with this, I can go over to my SOS. Now I've got an SOS flashlight and that audible SOS. So if I want to travel with this, leave one in the car, I can. If I want to switch from my AM into FM, here's the other thing you were talking about. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use the flashlight on my phone. Well, what happens when you lose power and your phone's at 10%? You're not going to use your flashlight. But you know what you could do is you can plug your phone into this because it's also a power bank. So think about all the different things that this does. If you gave value to a flashlight, to the secondary flashlight, so what's this going to cost you with one flashlight? How much would it cost to get one of your little down lights for your crafting lights? How much would it cost to have your AM and FM radio? And the fact that it's a power bank, you can spend $30 on a power bank in and of itself. But what about recharging the flashlight itself? Here's one of the things I love. It's not a flashlight that you have to get. You have to put double D batteries, whatever it might be into it, that it weighs it down. This is completely rechargeable. You can plug it into the wall, or you can use right here is a solar panel. So when I was working outside, I actually used this to recharge it while I was listening to the radio. Or you also have another way, 3 different ways, because I can use it as my dynamo crank right here. So we call this kind of like that people power. You are never going to feel like I have no way of not being able to recharge this.
I mean, it's brilliant. How many just have flashlights in your drawer? Like, oh, my emergency kit, I got flashlights, or the kitchen drawer, you have flashlights. Absolutely, I do believe every single home should have this. You know, we're gonna get, okay, so here's an update. We've now sold over 2,100 of these. I still have all 5 colors, which is great, but you've got to think about it. You just have to be so prepared. And it's a freaky time, right? Like, there's just a lot going on in this world, and I think it's so important to be proactive. A lot of us have something happen and it's reactive, and then you're like, oh, I gotta go out and get all this stuff. Don't wait for that to happen.
Yeah.
The perfect example was Friday night. I was a bit triggered because the last time I'd gone through that was a really severe hurricane. hurricane. And I thought, this is a perfect night. I had no fear. I didn't think anything was gonna go wrong. And then boom, in an instant, the entire downtown, 22,000 places were out of power. And it was all the way downtown St. Pete, and it went all the way up to the north. And I sat there and we were kind of laughing about it, but I'm like, oh my God, why did it go?
Yeah.
There was nothing, we didn't hear explosions, we didn't hear rain, no thunder, no trees falling down, there wasn't a car crash. We heard nothing. It was a perfect night, and yet we lost power in 22,000 homes, and I didn't have any idea when it was gonna come back. And I did think, oh my goodness, I knew I was ready because we had EcoFlow. So now that worry is gone. But it came to the radio of all things.
Yeah.
When I really thought about it, I thought, we don't have a way to listen to local radio at all at home. So if I was just selling you a good old-fashioned radio, and that you have to spend a fortune on batteries on, remember, all you do now is solar or crank, and you will have continuous power and energy. And the best part is, as you said, when your phone's about to die, you grab this and you're gonna recharge your phone, and you say, oh, I need more power? Okay, let me do some cranks.
Yep.
And it's gonna charge your phone back up because it's a power bank.
Yeah,
this thing's brilliant.
It really is. You know, we say it's an 8-in-1 flashlight. This is a true emergency kit in one purchase, right? You're literally covering nearly everything. You're getting your emergency backup for your phone, so now you've got your power bank. How much would that cost in and of itself? You're getting your AM, your FM, and your weather band radio. That's going to be covered by your NOAA, your National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. That's where you are going to get your minute-to-minute, up-to-date local weather news. I was listening to it. I could hear exactly where that storm was going, where the eye's going, where the wind is starting to pick up. I was able to stay in true communication with what's going on. And listen, when there's nothing out there that you can hear, where there's no phone, there's no line of communication, and everything is silent, it's not a great feeling. Being able to listen to your AM and FM, knowing that you can still listen to your music or listening to, and by the way, we're talking about how you can use it as an emergency. You're gonna end up using the AM and FM radio way more than you expected, but knowing you can fall back on something that's reliable, and what's reliable, it is this type of, we say old tech, but it's the good tech. It's the tech that we feel comfortable with. And I love being able to have that dynamo crank. You know, it's so interesting. I watch that and it always kind of brings me nostalgia, because that's the same type of technology that my grandparents had in that flashlight, and they still have that exact flashlight in their house. It works,
but I bet it
it's
doesn't
reliable.
power up their phone.
And it
cell
doesn't,
phone, right?
you know what, great point. No, it just powers up that light, and that's it. This will power up your phone and your radio and
think
beyond.
about how fun this would be. This is very lightweight, by the way. It's a nice size, but it's lightweight.
12 ounces.
But here's cool. Let's say you're just gonna go to the beach, you wanna listen. I have my favorite country radio stations on FM, and I actually listen to FM radio in my car. Believe it or not, I know it's old school. But anyway, if you're at the beach and you just wanna listen to your country music station or your talk station, you don't have to have your phone on and be burning up the power in your phone.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, I need to get some more power so I can keep listening to my music or whatever. Oh, I just crank it. This is a big deal to have that crank, guys, because now, even in the middle of the night, if you're out without power, you're gonna create your own power with this. Like this, and let's say you're like, well, you know, again, I love what you said. How much is a great flashlight? How much are the batteries all the time? An AM, FM radio. People will buy just a weather band radio just to know what's going on with the weather. Think about, then you have the emergency SOS. It even has an SOS signal, a sound, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things I love is that, you know, and that's why I say put one in your car, leave one at home. You know, there might be a moment in time where you can't be loud enough. We sell a lot of different devices like that give you that kind of audible alarm. You got the audible alarm, you also have the visual alarm. Maybe it's in a boat, maybe it's in an RV, maybe it's in your car at home. Now you have an emergency kit that can fit directly in a drawer or in a closet. You grab it and you go. I do love the size of it, that it is 12 ounces, and that it looks and feels like a flashlight. You know, there's a lot of them out there in the market. They don't look like a flashlight. This does. It feels really nice right there in your hand, and it does not feel heavy. You'll be able to carry this and take it everywhere.
You know what I forgot?
What?
And it's free shipping tonight. So guys, it's on sale, it's free shipping, and we have 5 flex pays. And remember, our this event we're doing is ending on the 21st. So I think that's tomorrow. Oh, is it tomorrow? Oh, anyway, it ends on the 21st. So you can get this home actually tonight for $4.60. And here's the thing, if you use it as a flashlight, just going down the basement, you're gonna go out and check the snow in the night or whatever, right? It's for $4.60 and you pay it off in 5 months, that's a great offer. But the fact that it's can recharge your phone, the fact that it's multiple flashlights, it's AM/FM radio, the fact you can crank it or even use solar power to charge it up. We've never had a more comprehensive flashlight on the air than this. And you can get this home for about $5. And I hope you use it for the fun things. The grandkids come around, they run out in the backyard and play with it, or you're just gonna put it in your car. But when you have an emergency and everybody is panicking, between this and the EcoFlow, you're gonna be the one person in your neighborhood who's not completely freaking out because you're ready and you're prepared. And I hadn't really thought about emergency radio for a long time until someone said, well, what happens if everything's down? Like you can't even get, your phone won't even work because the Wi-Fi doesn't work or whatever. You can't get a signal. In fact, our cell phones did not work in the second hurricane because even that tower thing wasn't working. And I thought, how would I know what's going on? You have to have a good old-fashioned radio, because the radio stations will still work.
Yes, so I heard about this actually. I didn't get affected. It was when we had the hurricane that hit Fort Myers.
Yes.
I had one of the guests was in here and was saying, we had no cell service. All of the cell towers were down. And I thought, oh my goodness, wow. And she was bringing that up because we were actually presenting this Aspen, I think it was over a year and a half ago. And so I was thinking, okay, well, we have this hurricane. Sure enough, power goes out, internet goes out. And then we had no cell service. And I didn't have cell service, by the way, for like 4 days. No form of communication. It's not like I could get on my phone and just Google and see what's happening around me. No communication, nothing at all, no internet, except for this. Literally the only form of communication that I have, that's why I say we fall back on the things that work, that AM and FM, being able to listen to my local radio, being able to listen to just music. So it kind of brought some normalcy. So when I went outside and I had all this cleanup to do, I was able to listen to the local radio, listen to some music, and then you know what, when it's not cleaning up, it's out on the beach. And by the way, you know what ends up happening when you have your phone out in the sun? It says overheated, can't listen to your music, you're out there, okay, well what am I gonna listen to?
Plus you're draining your battery in your phone.
You're draining the battery and then your phone overheats. Just bring the AM and FM radio out while you're
Is that not brilliant? And a lot of you are getting more than one. I do think everyone should have it in the car, at least have one in the drawer at home, have that in your emergency kit, have it for the fun stuff as well. It's brilliant. And this is the first time I've honestly presented it, and I'm beyond impressed. So I'm glad you are too. With our FlexPay, again, remember the price, the FlexPay, and the free shipping is happening right now. That will come to a close. When we come back, we'll talk about EcoFlow, so stay with us.
Kick off the new year with 72 hours of unbeatable retail therapy. Shop new arrivals, exclusive deals, and perfect prices from your favorite brands. Discover fresh ways to start your year right. You Weekend starts Friday at midnight. Get the best deals on the things you love with the HSN card. As an HSN card VIP, you'll get all kinds of perks like VIP financing on so many items, plus extra flex on every item under $369 all day, every day, and at least 8 VIP savings events a year. Includes fraud protection and there's no annual fee. Apply now and instantly get $15 off when you're approved. Call 1-800-695-1418 or visit hsn.com/HSN card.
Improvements is a leading innovator of unique, high-quality decor, space-saving storage ideas for every room, and essential kitchen must-haves. With the latest color and style trends, our items are designed to solve every home and garden need, so you can create the space you've always wanted. Dream big, make it amazing, because there's always room for improvements. Improvements on HSN.
Just want to give you a quick update because a lot of you are grabbing the 8-in-1 flashlight. We have sold almost 3,000. That's now in just 2 airings. So if you want to pick it up, I would definitely do that tonight and make sure you get your color. If you missed last hour, I got to show you one of the best deals we flat out ever have offered when it comes to a tablet. How if I said Gateway, 10-inch, quad core, all the bells and whistles, and I said this was 99 bucks, you'd like, oh my gosh, for a 10-inch tablet, that's pretty good. Well, I don't know. How about if I double the value? You're getting 2 Gateways tonight in 2 separate boxes for $100. It's $50 a tablet. On top of that, we do have free shipping. We've got your 5 flex pays. This deal ends tomorrow. There's only one more airing. Now, here's the warning though. We're gonna sell a bunch of these between now and the next airing tomorrow when we do the last one. We're down to the final 700 sets. So if you were thinking about getting the 2-pack of the Gateways, please get them right now. They will not make it through that full airing tomorrow. They might get to it, but they'll have very few when we get there. Just a little quick heads up. Okay, so this next item, I 300% own. I absolutely own this item. Now, my husband and I are big fans of EcoFlow. We have a great big unit. We bought our first unit. We have a big one up north. My husband wanted to live off-grid for several years. My husband's a software program analyst. He's on a computer and a phone 24/7, well, basically all day long. How do you live off-grid and do that? Well, we have a big EcoFlow. And on top of that, he had Starlink, so he's all covered, right? And it worked brilliantly. But we didn't have an EcoFlow for here in Florida where we live full time. And I was like, I will never not be without an EcoFlow. Because just as my example of Friday night when the lights went out when I was downtown St. Pete, and there was no reason it should have happened, and we don't know why, and we didn't know when they were coming back on, the second thought I had was, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have my EcoFlow, because we're gonna be the one house that's not gonna be worried about being able to power things up. And this is the exact unit I have. In fact, this is the exact configuration I have. This is the most powerful River that they do in the River series. This will power up to 80% of your appliances and your electrical things at home, including a full-size refrigerator out of this little guy that's less than 20 pounds. You have 2 choices of options tonight, and this is the lowest price we've ever done for this. I'm a little upset because I bought mine. It was a little more expensive. Anyway, you have your first choice is you just want this unit. You get it, you get the cables to go with it, great. What I'm gonna highly recommend if you can swing it is to get the full package, which is the unit itself, to get the solar panel, and to get the bag. The bag is a $70 value by itself. The solar panel right now, they run at what? What's normally the solar panel by itself price?
$300.
Close to 300 bucks, yeah. Right. So I would recommend if you want to get the second option, this is close to 300 by itself. It's included. You get the unit itself and you get the $70 bag for $419.99. Now we have FlexPay on this, which is great. And we even have a time to use that HSN card. We have 12-month VIP financing on this, which means with your HSN card, no extra interest. As long as you pay it off in 12 months, you can spread those payments out. So use that card on this tonight. Justin, we have a whole lot to get to with this, but yeah, this is truly one of my favorites, and I bought it because everywhere we go, I honest to goodness have learned I do not want to be without power.
Perfect example is obviously that you already have one, this exact model. Yes. Bill Duggan, who was just on last hour, who had the Gateway tablets, he has been asking me, keeps saying, I want to get one for Mom, and Mom's been saying, which one should I get? And you know, we've been talking through it. He's like, but I don't want to get too big of one for her. Which one did he get? He got the River 2 Pro. And it's because of that. You know, when he's thinking about getting something for Mom, he didn't want something that was going to be too heavy. He wanted something that was going to be manageable. This is all about manageable power, portable power, but a lot of power. This is the River 2 Pro. This isn't the River 2. It's not the River 2 Max. It is the River 2 Pro. It's the most powerful that we have under 20 pounds. In fact, it's only 17.2. We say it powers your life. Well, whatever might be in your life, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, or night, you're thinking about, how am I gonna cook some food if we're out of power? You know, you just said it. Well, we were out of power for all of maybe an hour, but of course at that moment, you're like, I'm about to cook dinner. What am I gonna do? Now think about being able to use that induction burner, being able to use that toaster oven, or maybe even just getting ready for dinner and using that hair dryer. You can do it all with something that weighs under 20 pounds and can power 80% of your home appliances. It is the emphasis on portability, but this is that Goldilocks size. If you've been wanting to find something that is not gonna be too big, but still gonna have that power, then you have got to check out the River 2 Pro. That's why we love it, and that's why it's been very, very popular.
Well, and you have to understand EcoFlow, in a very short amount of time, we actually launched EcoFlow here at HSN. And in a very short amount of time, it's become the #1 company of, well, how do you officially say it? The #1
power brand here at HSN.
Here it is, and in the country. I mean, I think that's a great compliment to how good it is. And I have a million stories to share with you, but one I'll share, not only did Friday night, 22,000 homes lost power. All of downtown St. Peter's are out of power. And we're a major city. We're not like a small city. And it was all the way up up beyond 80 blocks. We were all out of power. And again, we didn't know what was gonna happen, but the second thought I had was, I'm the one house in the group of people I was sitting with that I knew I'd have power when I got got home. So it could be out for multiple days and I don't care. Now, I bought the solar panel and it comes with the bag if you do that grouping. The solar panel means that you really don't have to worry about power because it's going to consistently keep it powered for you, even if it's multiple days.
Yeah.
Here's something else I learned and I want to, there's so many thoughts I have. I'm sorry, I got a lot of them.
No, that's okay.
My brain works that way. I was thinking about the California fires,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hearts go out to all of you guys. And you're like, well, I don't need an EcoFlow out there. Those people are saying my house is not even here. I can't even go home, right? Do you know I found out, I was really taken aback by this, that the power company shuts down massive amounts of grid
Yeah.
to homes that are still there.
Yep.
So there were people who were not affected by the fires directly that did not have power because they were shutting the grids down because of the risk. And that opened up a whole new group of people I hadn't really thought about in terms of needing an EcoFlow.
Well, I'll take it even a step further. EcoFlow has been there for people who are affected in Texas for the freeze,
Yep.
North Carolina recently, working through all the different charitable channels, and now through what's happened in LA, we actually sent a whole bunch of power stations for all the firefighters that were there, for a lot of the evacuees that were there as well, so that even after everything and still all the cleanup and everything that everybody's having to work through, they've been using our EcoFlows sent to the Pasadena Bowl right there in LA. So it just goes to show you, yeah, I mean, obviously, if the home is just completely decimated, as we've seen what's happened, there's still a lot of people there who still need power. And as you said, if you've had your power shut off, or what you've seen even recently is, even just a year ago, they're shutting off these power lines so that they can avoid some of these fires. You just never know. And you know, we've got stories in New York where the power grid is overrun because it's summertime and they turn off the power because all the AC outlets that are on. You just never know. What is your option? EcoFlow has become that option for a lot of people in apartments and condos, and obviously in a lot of these types of unfortunate, catastrophic type of events.
Now, we hope you never have to use it or turn it on. That is our true hope. It's like you'll never need this, but boy, when you do, like this is a great example.
Right.
Here it is, here it goes, the lightning hits, and you're like, oh my gosh. And now every house in the neighborhood is completely black. It's all completely dark. You won't be.
Nope.
So explain how that works.
Yeah, you know, again, when you're thinking about alternatives, okay, what does that mean to you? We think power, it comes only from what, a gas or propane generator. What I just did was use something that weighs 17.2 pounds that's literally sitting on my kitchen island. I can pick that up, you can pick this up, and I'll even go all the way back to the kind of beginning. Can you imagine it's just one touch of a button? Once you get it onto your kitchen island, you can use it inside. Here's the other thing to emphasize at this point, which is, you know what I didn't have to do, Susanna, is I didn't have to leave my house. I didn't have to go outside. I stayed in the comfort of my home, and I get to run it inside my home with a gas or propane generator. What does that mean? I'm gonna have to take that outside 20 feet away from my home, go out into the elements. I don't have to brave the elements. I get to stay where I'm comfortable and where it's safe, and now I've got my light, and now I've got my fan. Suzanne, I wanna do what we talked about earlier, which is, what about the refrigerator? I was saying, you know, it's nice because we could just go ahead and have a little mini refrigerator.
Sure.
But this isn't about having a mini refrigerator. This is about having a full-size refrigerator. So I'm gonna walk over here, and I want you to see this. Now, how much money have you spent recently at the grocery store? It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, it just makes me cry.
And earlier we were talking with Helen, I was like, yeah, you could lose $300 worth of food, but it's also the additional $300 that you're gonna have to spend again to fill it back up.
Right.
So here we go. We still have 4 3-prong AC outlets. Remember, this can power 80% of your home appliances. When this happens, you avoid the stress. You avoid feeling that feeling of
Panic.
helplessness. And you're right, and panic. And now we've got power to our full-size refrigerator. Now, the nice part is you get to see exactly how long it can run for, as opposed to like a gas or propane generator.
Because it literally tells you right here up front.
Exactly. So the compressor's kicking in. You'll notice it's about 110 watts right now. Now, that's not going to run like that all the time. That compressor's going to kick in. It's going to cool off your refrigerator. Most likely, your refrigerator's already cooled down, so your compressor's not even going to run. When it does kick in, you should get roughly at least about 10 hours with your River 2 Pro for a full-size refrigerator.
Wow.
If you think about in a pinch, are you going to, if it's 4 or 5 hours or 10 hours, am I going to go and grab my gas generator, even if I have one? or grab this where you can literally walk and carry it over to your refrigerator and plug it in.
Now, it's kind of fun that he has it in the crook of his arm, because the last time we did EcoFlow, he was not carrying it around. He did pick it up, but it was, in fact, we sold a trolley with it. It was very successful, but it's heavier. It's much bigger.
Yeah.
This is why I love this one so much. I can handle it. I mean, I'm not the strongest person on earth, but I can move it around. If you have anybody who lives on their own, anybody who's older, if you just don't want to spend $800, a lot of our EcoFlows, they can be anywhere from $800 to well over several $1,000s. They can be very expensive. And maybe those EcoFlows weren't in your budget. This is, I think, so much more budget friendly. And the fact that you can get it on 5 Flex and it has free shipping, this is the time to do it. As a matter of fact, this is how big a deal this is. This originally, if you get the solar panel with the EcoFlow with the carrying case, it is $979. So tonight, while I have them available, you're saving $560. If you just want the EcoFlow itself, that's fine. You can just plug it in and recharge it. I still recommend, if you can swing it, go for the full package, right? You're still gonna save $270. We're under $330 just for this unit. And this unit by itself is normally, well, our retail value on that, do you know what it is?
Well, this is closer to, I believe, $700 for the River 2 Pro.
The case is $70.
This case is $70.
And the solar panel is normally
roughly
almost $300.
Correct, which is why it's roughly almost $1,000 for typically.
The whole package.
Right, and you know, even when you're looking at this too, because of the relationship, as you said, since we launched EcoFlow here, that's why not only the value, but why we can put together bundles that you're not going to find anywhere else. It's not like, well, let me check and see where else I can shop for the River 2 Pro plus the bag, and plus you're not going to find it. It's only exclusive here. And one of the unique things is that we did launch EcoFlow here. And as you said earlier, which is, you know, when we launched it, this was something that nobody had ever seen before. And everybody had always thought, well, the only thing we've got is a gas or propane generator. And then EcoFlow arrived, and we became the #1 power brand here at HSN, but again, #1 power station brand in the United States, and we're available in 111 different countries and growing consistently. And it's because when you look at the reviews that are on hsn.com too, why this is customer pick, why so many people love it, is because you can fall back on it. It is reliable, and it's all the things that we relate to. Like, okay, well, of course I want to keep my refrigerator running, and then that's probably the first thing I'm thinking of. Then I'm thinking, well, at some point I'm gonna be hungry, I'm gonna wanna cook, or it's the light in the fan. We've got an induction burner right here. If I said you need a plan, what happens when we pull the plug from your home right now, you say, all right, now how are you gonna cook? Without making a fire, without going to the barbecue, now you can sit right there in your home and be running an induction burner, cooking with a little hot oven right here, making eggs, making a sandwich, making hot soup, another way for you to keep yourself hot water, right? Boiling water to make pasta, whatever it might be. And then you can actually heat yourself up from inside, right? So now when we think about even the winter season and then into the summer season, keeping ourselves cool, warming ourselves up, keeping our food cool, our medicine. But this is the other thing too. You know, this isn't 5-year-old technology. This is brand new technology. This is where when we think about when you're gonna invest in it, you want something that's new, right? If I want the newest TV, or the newest car, I want the newest power station. It's not just #1, but this is something where we call life cycles. Our phones, we've all experienced it. At a certain point, we feel like our phone's not charging all the way. That's a life cycle. Every time their phone dies or recharges, that's one life cycle. On original power stations, we had roughly about 300 before your power station would only go from 0 to 80%. On your River 2 Pro, we added a 0. That's 3,000 times, okay? So in order for you to reach it to where it's only 0 to 80%, it would take you 10 years. If you depleted and recharged this once a day, it would take you 10 years. So instead of what we used to have, which is a 2-year warranty.
Wait, and that still gets you to 80%
and that still gets you to, right, it still gets you to 80%. Again, that's if you used it every single day.
Right.
We have that, I don't know if we were about to show that, we do have that customer service email right here. So anytime I'm saying anything or you get this at home, you have some questions, go ahead and email that customer service. The next thing I did want to mention was it's not a 2-year warranty like we used to have. We more than doubled that. It is a 5-year warranty. So this is something for half of the life of it. If we say 10 years, this is going to be covered under the warranty as well.
Even remember, even at 10 years, it's only 80%. So you're still using it. Like we've used ours. I mean, we had the Hurricane. Obviously, my husband brought it out and used it. The one up north we've used a lot, but we're not even close to the cycles that it can do. Not even close. So we expect to have this, buy it once, and quite frankly, I don't think we'll ever have to buy it again because we just don't have to use it. But the fact that you have it, that's what makes the difference. And here's what happens. happens. A lot of people are not prepared. When it comes to hurricanes, we all know they're coming.
Right.
They give us a lot of warning, like get ready. And so everybody gets all their stuff, everybody buys the water and the toilet paper and all the stuff we need, right? There were so many instances this year where you all didn't get a chance to get ready, i.e. North Carolina. Thoughts and blessings and heartfelt go to people in North Carolina. They had no idea that was going to hit them. They had no warning on that. That was an instantaneous freak nature thing. Again, refer back to California. Again, we're so concerned about everybody out there. The fires are still going. Maybe they've taken your power and you've lost power, not because you're affected by it directly, but they had to lose the power for an entire area, an entire grid. Were you prepared? No, because you didn't think about it. So many people are reactive. And once you get an EcoFlow and you use our FlexPay, use the VIP financing, you kind of bite the bullet to do it once, and then you never have to worry about it again. And I'll tell you, that peace of mind I have now is worth more money than you can ever imagine, knowing that in an emergency, we are ready and we can be in control. Because when it's an emergency and you're grabbing stuff and you're trying to get out, or you've lost power or something dangerous has happened, you're so out of control, you don't even know what to do. This gives you amazing peace of mind. Friday night, it was only out for about an hour, but I immediately went, oh my gosh, what if this is 3 days? Because I went back to the hurricanes. What if it's a week? What if it's 10 hours? I just went, oh, you know what? I've got power because I've got my EcoFlow. And that peace of mind I had, even on a quick power outage, was worth everything to me. Hopefully, I mean, we use it for fun stuff. That's what we hope you use it for, is all the cool stuff, like it's the family reunion at the park and you want power to play music and stuff. That's cool. But boy, when it's an emergency, this is where you just go, thank God, literally, thank God I have it. Now, this is a beast, and you bring it out, and this is overwhelming to me. And we haven't, but I would never use ours.
Well, even when you just look at this and when we show it, it just looks out of place, right? It just doesn't look right being inside, which of course it should never be inside. The only time it should be inside is when you're storing it in your garage. But that also means what? You have to store gasoline, and you talk about being proactive and reactive. You know, we think, well, we'll get this, we own it, and now we wait for some emergency. That's not what you're gonna do when you have your EcoFlow. 99% of the time you're gonna be doing all the fun stuff like you said. That 1%, then you'll be able to know that you can fall back on it. But this is only for that 1%. And then even that battery right here, that battery that's on my generator, because this is my generator, it's dead. Do you know when I found that out? During the hurricane.
Oh,
you know, because it just never even dawned on me. I thought, well, it's the push button. I haven't used it. I've stored it, and I use this to power up and charge some of the larger power stations. Well, then I thought, well, what about the pull crank? The pull crank wouldn't even work.
Broken.
70 pounds. I couldn't carry this up I have about 20 flights of stairs. I wasn't gonna carry this up to the front of the house. I left it in the garage. We ended up having 15 feet of water. This completely flooded. Why would you have this? And I'm just gonna cut in front of you, Suzanne. Why would you have this when you can have that?
This look, that's a great example.
Right?
Did you guys see him right there? Our little guy right here.
I mean, so 20 pounds, and not even 20 pounds, 17.2 pounds. This is something that, again, you know, we even think about, well, still it's gonna power what? The important things that we want, our refrigerator, still gonna be able to cook our food, still gonna be able to use that portable AC unit. I'm just gonna move this right here, super lightweight, easy to move around with that little carry handle. And then I'm gonna open this up. This is my solar panel. For all of you, and I know the majority of you are picking it up with the solar panel.
Yes, they are.
It's the way to go. Because ultimately, eventually, this is going to run out of power. How am I going to recharge this? You need to have your solar panel. Now this is independence, and it's infinite amount of power. So with 110 watts or 220 watts, excuse me, you'll be able to recharge this in 2.5 hours. So that's like, let me put it out at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 10:30, 11 a.m., this is going to be all the way charged, and now I'll be able to use it again and again and again. Here's the other thing I love about this. And your husband's probably used it in this way in this capacity as well, which is with the solar panel connected to my power station, now what I have is a solar generator. So that means if this is at 100%, all of the power that's passing through my solar panel, through my power station, if I got my phone plugged in, if I got my light plugged in, if I've got my router plugged in because I still want internet at home or my lights, it's all being powered via the sun. I'm not wasting gasoline, I'm not wasting propane. This is something that I can use, and it's super quiet. Right now we think about, well, if this is at 50%, how am I gonna know? Because there's an LCD display. When that's at 50%, How am I going to know it?
You have no idea.
You get so much more information. You have way more access. There's no USB ports on that. There is on this, and it's just easier and safer for you to use.
Okay, now we also have an extra set of 2 solar panels that are available.
Yeah.
How many can I link to this one?
So this is really unique. So we kind of can create what we call a solar array. So what we do is with this, and again, if go to that email address, if you have any questions while I'm talking about this, we actually can connect these 2 solar panels together. You can have 220 total watts of solar, but with the value of the 2-pack, I would say if you have other EcoFlows already and you want extra solar panels, pick up this 2-pack because it's pretty much, I think, close to what, 50% off on the 2-pack.
Yeah.
So now you'll have one that will absolutely cover you and be able to max out your solar input on your River 2 Pro, and then you'll be able to use that extra solar panel as well for any other EcoFlows that you have.
Can I attach a second one to the current one?
Yes.
Just can I go up 1 or 2?
You can, so we can use 2 solar panels connected
So have
to that.
3 total.
You could have 3 as long as it's just 220 watts of total solar input. You'll be able to max this out and recharge it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so again, you'll have a spare, but if again, you could use the other one for something else.
Right.
But it is right. This is normally $600. This 2-pack is now $329.99. I just want to mention that we do have it because you can link one more onto the solar panel you're getting tonight, and then either have a spare or, like you said, if you have 2 like we do, it'd be great to take that one up north.
You can never have too much.
True.
And the way I view it is the more solar you have, the more solar power you can utilize to recharge it even faster, and also more solar that you can utilize to power whatever you've got plugged in.
Okay, I'm gonna run over here. I know you're gonna run over there because
Yep.
we're gonna surprise you at truly how many things this can power. Because I know you're like, oh my gosh, it's so teeny, it's so little. Is it really that little workhorse? And it is. It's like the mighty little workhorse that you'll have. So let me kind of explain what we're doing. We have 2 choices. If you just wanna get the unit itself, you can certainly buy that, and that's gonna be, what are we doing? $329.99 just for this. The better value is going for the whole package because now you're truly covered. Once the sun comes out, you're definitely going to have more power. This is the solar panel, and you get the carrying case. That's your second option. So the solar panel typically is almost $300 by itself. The carrying case is $70 by itself. So we're almost just these 2 items at the price of the entire system. So if you can swing it using our 5 Flex, your VIP financing, I highly recommend. This is exactly what I have. We have 1 panel that comes with its own case. I love the carrying case because all the cables that come with it, this pops right inside. So when we have it as an emergency, I know where it's at. I can grab both pieces, and we know where all the cables are. They're not spread all over the house. So if you can swing it, especially with our 5 Flex and the free shipping tonight, I would definitely consider it'd be $84 on a major credit card. You pay it off in 5 months, and literally now you check off that one worry. Everybody in an emergency needs water, you gotta have some food, and you've gotta have power. And this is gonna take care of it so brilliantly. This is my next example I love that Justin does. You go to a bedroom because there's things. Well, let's talk about wintertime. Let's start with winter first.
Yeah.
Because what can we do in a bedroom with this?
Well, one, you can be using it every single day. Again, when we think about even just stretching our overall value on picking something like this up, this isn't something where you say, I'm only gonna wait, right, for an emergency, and then, well, no, you get to use this literally right next to you every single day by your bed, with your CPAP machine. Just speaking of winter time though, I do have the AC running right now just to show you 11 hours. This is also a 2-in-1. This is also a space heater. So I can use this as a space heater. So if you have a space heater at home, you can use this. Or what I always recommend is using a heating blanket. It's way more efficient. Wrap yourself up, get that heating blanket going. And I always say, look, when we think about where we live in the country, what we all do is we adapt. And we adapt by getting all these other electronics. Here in Florida, it's hot. What do we get? We get fans. We get the little kind of oscillating fans that go by our bed. Maybe we get that portable AC unit. Well, what does that need? It needs power. Speaking of winter, what do we need? We need heating blankets. We need space heaters. We need ways to be able to heat ourselves up with a microwave or an induction burner or even that hair dryer right there. Remember, this can power up to 1,600 watts, and I will repeat this over and over. This is the most powerful power station that we have in the River line. And the River line means portability, and today definitely affordability, but it also means ultimate power. The River 2 Pro is that analogy that we often use, which is it is the Goldilocks. It is that perfect size right there in the middle. Under 20 pounds, there is no other power station that we have that is more powerful. And yes, I do have the portable AC unit. Still can double down as that space heater. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on the CPAP machine. When we think about running anything by our bed, especially when we even compare again back to what you're standing behind, that generator, it is super loud. My neighbor was just over it after a couple of days. I was able to give him one of these power stations, and he was able to go ahead and use that instead of running and using the gas all night long. He used his power station, and he was able to actually sleep. Look at the label that's rubbed off on that little gas can. That just looks unsafe, right? And a lot of people feel so uncomfortable because that just looks scary.
And you're storing a ton of that in your garage?
Right.
I would not want a ton of gas cans full of gas in my garage. I mean, that's just asking for trouble there. I did want to show you a hack, and this is my husband figured this one out. And a lot of people, and I thought it was a great hack. So we do have gas generated systems. Like what am I can't remember the name of it. I don't even like it. I hate it so much. I do not like the gas systems.
The propane?
No, this thing.
Oh, the generator.
Generator, thank you. I'm just losing it. Okay, so we have a couple gas the gas ones.
Yeah.
I don't like them. They're incredibly heavy. I don't even know how to use them. I don't know how to turn them on. This I like because I'm comfortable with it. I can move it around. I love this. But here's the hack. So instead of having to run this loud thing outside for hour after hour after hour to keep that food in the fridge that costs way more than the price of our whole system tonight, what he does is he actually will turn on our gas generators. He will charge this one up, and then he uses this one for the entire day. So instead of running this for 8 hours, he runs it for 45 minutes to an hour, gets this baby completely filled, and then runs on this for the rest of the day. That's that little hack I wanted to share with everybody. So if you have a gas generator, keep it.
Yep.
But what we do is we don't need, like, when you're even preparing for a hurricane, people are sitting in line for hours at the gas station, and they've got 10 of these jugs, and they're hoping.
I've done it.
So many people have, and they're hoping. I was in the gas station to get gas in my car. I wasn't standing there waiting to fill a bunch of these up. And so if you have a generator, we use a lot less gas with our gas generator, and that's just that easy hack. Because instead of running this for hour after hour and eating through all that gas and needing more gas, we just recharge it. And then if we need anything beyond that, obviously we're gonna pull out the solar panels. So just the whole point being is you're really covered with this deal. You do not have to worry about power. You don't have to freak out when the lights go out or the lightning hits. Or I'll tell you right now, a friend of mine, so many things are happening right now. It's just insane, right? Yeah. A friend of mine lives in Texas, and they're getting ready for really, really bad cold weather's gonna hit. And they're not really, typically they're not prepared for that kind of weather. And cold weather's about to, you guys are gonna freeze up north, and I'm sorry about that.
It's gonna be 20 degrees in Florida.
Right now, they've had so many problems with the weather out there. They're trying to get a whole house generator. It's costing them thousands of dollars. And God bless they can afford that. Me, I can't do that. This is my answer. I'd love a whole house generator. I can't afford, it's thousands of dollars to have one put in. And they're trying to hurry up and get it done because they're about to get to this freak cold weather and potentially snow. Dallas just had snow the other day. And so you just don't know when, where, or why it's gonna happen. But the fact you can really have that incredible peace of mind knowing that once you buy this one time, you never have to worry about it again. And isn't that worth any amount of money not to have that concern anymore?
When you can cross something like that off your list, you know, even when I was just thinking earlier, there's nothing worse than thinking, I'm not prepared for that test. It's almost like I still have nightmares of being like, how am I gonna go to school? When you don't feel ready, when you don't feel prepared, and then you're sitting there and you're in the middle of it and you think, why didn't I get ready for this? Now, you mentioned too, there's a lot of things that we can't get necessarily prepared for. You know, we didn't think that there was gonna be tornadoes that were gonna hit here in Florida. These are just things that we don't think about. We got prepared for the hurricane part of it, but then we realized, holy cow, there's tornadoes, 16 that touched down here in Florida, 2 of which hit right in front of my family's home. Those are things that we can't prepare for.
And that was a spinoff of the hurricane.
And that was from the hurricane, correct. But then you saw what happened, like you said, up North Carolina. Again, not realizing that that was even a possibility. We're having all of these just once-in-a-generation storms, but it feels like it's becoming more than just once in a generation. You need to get ready, and one of the best ways to get ready is to have a backup source of power. You know, we think, all right, we're gonna get food, we're gonna get water, but what happens when you need to fall back on something like this? What does food and water need today? It needs power. This weighs 17.2 pounds. It can power 80% of your home appliances, and I've got the induction burner plugged in really quickly. I'm just gonna, you know what I wanna do? I wanna do what we talked about earlier. I wanna go back over to the refrigerator, and I wanna carry this, because what are we talking about? Food and water, again, needing the power. One hand to pick this up, open up the refrigerator just to show you in real time, and hold it with one arm. And you called it out, Suzanne, which is, I'm not doing this with the other ones. I know I look like a big buff guy, but this is not typically what I'm gonna do with the other power stations. Full-size refrigerator. When that sound of the thunder and the lightning and that gut-wrenching feeling, When I tell you, you don't feel that anxiety anymore when you have this, it's true. Because when we were in the middle of the hurricane and I had all my EcoFlows charged, it's like, okay, here we go. Right? I had my flashlight, I had my husband. First thing I did was I got the flashlight and then I walked over to my EcoFlows. I plugged in the refrigerator, everything, and had it all set up. What a great, comforting feeling. And then when it works and when you realize, wow, this is something that I love having. And then, oh, by the way, when it's not a hurricane, I can go to the football game. I can go watch tailgate. I can go watch the Eagles out in the backyard and get the TV set up. My dad today, he was watching the presentation. He took a picture. He was watching the presentation in the garage. He has no outlets in the garage. He had his EcoFlow plugged into the TV. He sent a picture. I was able to show it. I might show it again a little bit later here. But it was just like, he loves doing it. He took the little table saw out in the back. He's making, got all these little, what are the little, like those little crates. And he's making all this stuff outside using what?
Pallets?
The pallets, thank you. Yeah, he had pallets. He's making all this different stuff. All those things that you can do, you're going to think about, and then again, when it happens to be that 1%, where we do experience a power outage, well, this is something that you're going to grab.
Yeah. And again, this one specifically is such a great value. We've sold much more expensive ones, and they've been very successful here at HSN. But this one's got the right size, the right price, the right value, the right configuration tonight. The vast majority of you are picking up the one that has a solar panel and the carry bag. That is by far a phenomenal savings. In fact, you're saving $560 off what the price would be when this goes back up to its full price. Don't forget 5 Flex. It's easy. You got a major credit card. You're going to get the system home for $84, the full system. If you'd like to get just the unit itself, you can do that. And again, that's fine. Maybe that really is in your budget or what have you. But if you can swing just doing a little bit more, $100 and some more, it really is, I believe, smarter to get the whole system. And think about this. If that fridge goes bad, one time where your power's out for just long enough and all that meat in the freezer and all that stuff you bought that's so expensive from the groceries in the fridge, when you have to literally physically throw it all away, that pays for the full system that we're selling tonight. Just one time when that goes. You know it. You know how much you spend at the grocery store every week now, right? You get a couple dumb bags and it's $100. You're like, what the heck, right? So one time that all has to be thrown out has paid for the system, and now you're going to be able to avoid it. So if you just save food one single time, isn't it worth being able to pick this up? And remember, nobody has this offer. I love you. I know everybody's going to go online and you'd like to look around. This is a completely exclusive value and offer we're offering tonight. We have not done the Pro River in a really long time. I bought mine probably a year ago, maybe? Probably a year ago when I bought mine. And again, it's one of those things you kind of bite the bullet, use our 5 Flex, get the free shipping because it's some nice happy boxes that arrive. It's not the lightest thing we sell. And then you're done. And you don't ever have to think about it again. And that peace of mind, whether you're buying it for maybe an elderly parent who lives by themselves, or grandma, grandpa needs it, or you're buying it for your home, or you're buying it, maybe you've got a daughter-in-law and a son and they don't have one at their place. It just really can be an amazing gift to give somebody, but it really does. It's there when you need it for the fun stuff, and then unfortunately, when the bad stuff happens, at least you're ready. When the entire neighborhood, like it was downtown, can you imagine all of St. Petersburg, 100% pitch black? Weird, like super weird. And then you go, how does that one house have a light on or 2 lights on? Wait, how are you cooking? How are you drinking coffee, hot coffee? You're like, well, I got an EcoFlow.
Well, I've lived downtown. And you think, well, I'll live in one of these fancy high-rises. You know what happens? Guess what? That generator only runs the hallway lights and the elevators. So it's not like, well, I've got this fancy little condo, I got this beautiful apartment building and this brand new building. Guess what? The generator that's for that building only runs the elevators and the hallway lights.
No kidding.
Not your apartment, right? I mean, because they're conserving more power by doing that. So you are left having to figure out how to power everything in your house. So at that moment, you're thinking, is it going to be out for an hour? Is it going to be out for 5 hours or 10 hours? I have no idea. It's not, we say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, but it's also a matter of when's the power going to come back on, and we don't know. And that's even the thing when we get prepared for these hurricanes. As you said, it's nice that we get prepared, but we're getting prepared for what? We kind of gamble. We don't know. Is it going to be a day? Is it going to be a week? Well, we were out of power for a week and a half, up to 2 weeks for a lot of people, and we've seen what happened with so many people on the coast as well. However you might be affected, and by whatever it might be affecting you, anywhere across the country, we're all the same in the sense that we all fall back and rely on what? Power. We need to make a plan, and as you said, don't be reactive, be proactive. If you've been reactive, well, well, maybe you ended up with something that you're not happy with, like the generator. Get something like this that you know in your apartment, your condo, and even if you have a generator, like you said, great. Use the hybrid system that Suzanne was just talking about. Use the generator to power up your EcoFlow and then conserve your gas, conserve your propane.
And turn the loud thing off.
And turn the thing off.
Yeah. But here's something else. I was thinking about this too, is for me, it's mobility as well. So if we've got to pack up and go, again, anymore, I don't take any risks when it comes to this kind of stuff. After we've gone through the 2 hurricanes here in St. Pete, you know, you learn lessons, right? And we already had our EcoFlow, so I knew I had that set, but I like the size because it's really pick up and go. This is the easy one to go to the fun tailgate. It's the really convenient one because I can even pick it up where you take it to the family reunion in the park because you want to play music. It's the one where you set it up in the backyard with the screen, the big white sheet, and you get all the kids over and watch movies outside, way back in the backyard. You've got power there. You know, it's those power at those, maybe you're camping. Oh my gosh, we have so many people. They want to go off-grid camping, which is so popular. Guess what? You're going to be the comfortable one off-gridding it. I need all my accoutrements. I love to camp, but I am a glamper. This is going with me. Accoutrements.
Okay.
But this is going with me. And again, for the price of one time, when you run out of power, it could be a truck hits a pole near your house. And it's going to take 24 hours for them to get it all reconnected and get it all fixed. And you've thrown out an entire fridge of food and that freezer of all the meats. You've actually paid for the river tonight. I mean, just that one time, it literally is going to pay for itself. Remember, 5-year warranty. And it's designed to be only 80% efficient in 5 years.
Right.
Only 80%.
No, 10.
10 years.
10
right.
years.
It's been
10
tested
years.
to be only 80% efficient in 10 years,
Right.
and it comes with a 5-year warranty. So they build a great product, and they stand behind it, which is really, really amazing. All right, what else? Let's do this. Can we, because we've got about 5 minutes to go. I got a ton of you guys buying this right now. I know we're limited in the choices. We're actually more limited in the solar with the unit with the carry bag. And again, that is the best value. If you can swing a little bit more, you really won't regret it in the long run. But I do want to do kind of a 360 in case somebody missed the beginning.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to unplug so you guys can see all the different ports. And as I'm doing this, I do want you to think about what Suzanne was just talking about, all these different examples that we're giving you. These are examples that you're not going to do with what? With that gas or propane generator. These are things that you would only consider doing with your EcoFlow. All right, what you're looking at is the simplicity. It's only what? 17.2 pounds. We've got it right here on just a little dolly system so you guys can see how nice and slim and small this is. This is still powerful enough to power up 80% of your home appliances. One touch of a button to turn it on. You know, this is a power station. It's a storage of power, but it's also going to have an amazing amount of output of power. So when I plug in my refrigerator, when I plug in that induction burner, when I plug in the fan, when I plug in the light, I have 4 3-prong AC outlets. I also have 3 USB-A ports and a USB-C port and also this DC port. Now, here's what's unique about this USB-C port is not only an output, but it's also an input. Meaning, if I forget the cable to charge this thing up and I took it with me, the same cable that you use to charge your iPhone, you can use to charge up your River 2 Pro.
Get out of here, I didn't know that.
So that's one of the things that's just like, they've really thought of everything. Well, what about recharging and how fast? This is the thing that we blow the competition away with. From 0 to 100%, not to 80%, was what we used to say, 0 to 100% in just a little over an hour, 70 minutes. That is unbelievable when you consider all of the things that we powered and how long we can power it for. And here's the other thing. We talked about powering it with the USB-C. Right here's how we plug it into the wall. That's how we charge it all the way from 0 to 100% in 70 minutes. What about right here? We have 2 options right here. If you're picking it up with a solar, which a majority of you are, you can use your solar panel to plug it in here. Remember, 220 watts in 2.5 hours, all the way up to 100%. And we give you the DC adapter. So if you're driving, you're on a trip, or as we've seen, and you're just kind of having to evacuate, plug it in, recharge it as you're driving, and you can do it that way too. So many different ways, and still
you get
infinite
all the cables to do that.
You get all the cables. You get the solar panel cable, you get the DC cable, you get the AC cable as well. Everything will come included in the bundle.
Yeah, and again, you know, you just don't know. And I love what you said too. I mean, I kind of love and hate it. It's not that it's not going to happen. It's going to when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and anymore, it's just happening so much more often, and there's so many more crazy things going on. My producer Sam said too. She goes, you know, out in California, it's so top of mind right now. A lot of you lost your homes, and again, God bless you, we feel so for you. But a lot of people's homes were okay, but they don't have any power.
Yeah.
Because again, their home might have made it through, but they've turned the power off all over the neighborhood. So even if you can get back to your house, you still don't have any power. And again, so when you're in that circumstance, because we are prepared, you know, we're like, okay, if we got to evacuate, this is with the bag and the solar panel, we're taking it with us because we don't know what's going to happen even where we evacuate when it comes to this crazy weather that's going on. But the fact that you can get the #1 best brand here at HSN and in the nation, and you're getting it at a superior value. Remember, I'll go back off here 1 second, then I'll come right back, Justin. You have two options. You can just get the River Pro by itself, and that is $329.99. It's a $270 savings if you just get this. If you get this with the solar panel, this is normally, when it's not on sale, $300 here. This is the bag. I love the bag. They even make beautiful quality bags. This is a $70 value here. If you want to get the entire system, and then you're truly ready to go, you don't have to buy anything extra, you are saving $560. Just this at $300 and this at $70 is basically the price of the entire system tonight. Oh, by the way, we throw in this for you. So it's a superior value. With 5 Flex, all you need is a major credit card, and you're going to pay it off in 5 months, which is, in this case, for this system, is $84 over the next 5 months. Skip a dinner out, guys. Skip one dinner out for the next 5 months. And then again, this is something you check off your list, and honestly, you never have to worry about it again, because it's not if, it's when it's going to happen. And it's unfortunate. Honest to God, I wish these weren't so successful. I really do. We all wish they really, no one wanted them, right? But we sell so many because we all recognize it's something we really truly must have.
Well, and because it's not just for emergencies. You know, I always say it's not break glass in case of emergency purchase. We think I'm only going to get, no, it's, oh my God, all the fun things that I can do with something like this. And I was just even thinking, it's only you could buy 2 of them. You could literally.
You could buy 2 for the price. The original price is $979.
You could buy 2 of them.
You could buy 2 complete systems for the price of just 1 system normally.
It's amazing.
That's a great point. And guess what? This, we're only using in emergencies. This, you can use everywhere all the time.
I almost blew my back out trying to get this into the car to get it over here.
I can't believe you bring it back every time, too. I know you need it.
No, I left it here. I'm not bringing that back home.
All right, Miss Amy's up next with the Beekman Boys and a look at our today's special. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Oh, it is our first big